இன்றைக்கி மறுபடியும் சனாசினி பாட்காஸ்ட்டில் சந்திக்கிறோம். இன்றைக்கி வந்து எபிசோட் 31. அதுக்கு முந்தி வந்து தயவு செய்து எங்கள் பாட்காஸ்ட்டை வந்து லைக் பண்ணுங்கள், இதில் பேசுகிற கண்டென்ட் வந்து ஷேர் பண்ணுங்கள். அட் தி சேம் டைம் வந்து அந்த நோட்டிஃபிகேஷன் பட்டன் வந்து கிளிக் பண்ணி வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஏன்னா நீங்கள் திறந்து கொடுக்குற ஆதரவு நீங்கள் பார்த்து நீங்கள் ஷேர் பண்ணுறது தான் மீண்டும் மீண்டும் இந்த பாட்காஸ்ட் வந்து வளரும். சமுதாயம், அரசியல், பொது நலத்தை பற்றி பேசுகிறதுக்கு எங்களுக்கு நிறையா வாய்ப்புகள் கிடைக்கும். எப்போதும் போல் நான் சிவராஜ் சந்திரன்,
நான் சிவமுருகன் பாண்டியன். வணக்கம்.
நம்மளோட இன்றைக்கி இருக்கிறது Anne வந்து இட்ஸ் ஆக்சுவலி ஃப்ரம் அசோசியேஷன் ஆஃப் இன்க்ளூசிவ் அவுட்டோர் கிளாஸ் ரூம். She is like and also consultant, and specialize in special able kids. So thanks for joining us, Anne, today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So how's your day? It's supposed to be a public holiday.
Yeah.
Spending time with your family.
I spend time with them all the time. So thank you.
Okay, it's about an event, Prof.
Yeah.
They've been doing this. This is your first year, is it?
No, our 6th year actually.
Oh, 6th year. Yeah. Okay. So they are going to organize one program. The program by Association of Inclusive Outdoor Classroom. It's kind of a fashion show for disabled kids on the 13th of July at KL Gate Mall. Unfortunately, the registration has been closed, but yet we still invite all of you to be there, to give your moral support, to be with the kids and also the organizer, to make this event more meaningful. So, Anne, please tell us about your activities. Not on the 13th July, I'm talking about general activities. What sort of programs you do, and what sort of type of kids you handle, how you handle them, what sort of problems you have, and so on.
Okay. Thank you for that question. Now, the inclusive outdoor classroom actually started at the porch of my home, and this was like some 8 years ago. And it grew word of mouth, and it's just like families were looking for a space so that their children can be part of community. So what really happens in the inclusive outdoor classroom is that children with and without disabilities are there.
Both.
Both. And that's the only way that they can learn from one another.
Mm-hmm.
And we work with a lot of young people from the different disciplines of education to come and to be volunteers there. Because a lot of them, when they are like 22, 23, they will still use the word like, oh, that child is retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Or that child is like, stupid. Not with bad intentions, but they don't know. So we feel that it's very important for spaces like this to be created so that people can know that it's not about just because they are not like us or just because we are not like them, something is not right with either one of us. So that's why this space was actually created for awareness, number one, and most importantly is also acceptance.
What motivated you to start up this space? Any personal experience or around the neighborhood area you felt that you need a space to include both groups together? First. Second, how long have you been operating, and have you reached various groups throughout the period?
Okay. My training, or rather my education, is around inclusive education.
Okay.
And so I started off, having a preschool many years ago I think it was in 2001. And then after a few years, I went to actually teach in universities. And when I started teaching in universities, and I realized that the adult learners did not understand what is inclusion. And they were under the impression that if a person has autism, it's all about what's in the checklist. So I said that we need to start a space like that, and we need to have young people coming in, because otherwise 50 years later we'll be talking about the same thing. Inclusion, inclusive education, but it's got to be a lifestyle. So that's one. And then also we wanted to do this as a community project, but funding is always our number one challenge. So we said, okay, let's just start wherever. So we used to go to public parks. And parks are free And one more good thing about parks is that people are there. People can see that, oh, okay, just because this person is on a wheelchair, this person must not be excluded from the community. It's what we do with them to be part of community. So that's when I like to use the young people, because they have an amazing force on social media to change mindsets. And so that's how it is. And have I reached different communities? Yes, I have. Because my young people, our team leaders, our team members, they don't just come from the place where our base is. They come from Klang, Selayang, Seremban, Rawang, and we're based in Subang Jaya. So when you see them coming on a Saturday morning as early as 6:30 to actually, set up the space, you know that there's something powerful going there. And these people want to change mindsets.
What motivates them to join? I mean, if you look back 20 years ago, we don't have special facilities. It is kind of neglected by the authorities. But today we are seeing the acceptance level have grown higher. Maybe the literacy towards disability have reached a level that people think that they are no different with those who have the abilities.
Right.
So why do you think the youngsters have that motivation and determine now that they should do something?
Well, one of the things is that we need to empower them. And whenever they actually come in as, volunteers, we don't tell them, I need you to be here or I need you to be there. We have to explain, we have to do the appropriate training and to tell them what this program is all about, and then put the question back onto them. How do you think you can fit into our program? And once we start empowering them, they feel that they are being appreciated, and they feel that, hey, this is my strength, and this is what I want to do.
But what kind of programs do you have? Could you share with the viewers so that they know that this is what you do with your organization? Yeah, besides training?
We have football.
Oh.
Yeah. And we also have drum circles, music. We have art, storytelling. And this is also a good place to actually teach people who don't know sign language, because we also have children who are deaf as our program. So it's one way to actually introduce them to a different language altogether. If you are not in the community where people are different from you, you're not going to learn it. You cannot get it from books.
So they can come from anywhere in Klang Valley, not necessarily from Subang Jaya.
Yeah. You can come anywhere. It's open to all. Of course, we have a registration process. We have a membership process. And we only charge minimum 20 ringgit a month, because this is a community project. And we want more people to be part of this. And we also want more young people to be engaged in community service like this. And anyone can come. And it's also a learning for us, because if a person who is blind were to actually come to our program, our facilities are not very disabled friendly just as yet, but we can learn from the families. What do we need to do? How do we need to do things? And that's where, after that, we take our case to our local politician, and we say that we need more spaces to be accessible. And if we're going by our policies, and and I think everyone's talking about universal design, so let's do universal design now. Let's talk about your SDGs. Let's talk about SDG 17, Partnership for the Goals. Come and partner with us so that we can make the place a better space for the community.
So the programs are weekly based, or you have like tailored different programs in a week? You have football, you have those playing music, those who are up to drawing, or any other programs, various programs in 1 week, or different weeks will have different programs.
Our program is like twice a month. And in that twice a month, we actually cover everything. Yeah, because, like I said earlier, some families travel from afar. And to actually come to our space, sometimes it's a bit challenging, because they have a child who needs, I don't know, maybe, accommodations to be made for traveling and things like that. So we try and do it on one day. But because we are a big team, so we actually spread it out there. so everyone can, be part of the activities planned.
Any age group?
No, we don't have any age group because sometimes they can be 27, but mentally they're just 12 or 10. Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, like, this is the team like break the stigma on disability. This is the team for this year, or you've been using this for the past 6 years?
We've been using it for the past 6 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we've been, so
why you choose that team? I mean, why?
Okay, why I choose that team is like that because it says break the stigma on disability.
Ability. You may want to show.
Yeah, I'm going to show them everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's about disability. It's not disability. So there's like a catch on that word there. So
Disability.
yeah, so it kind of stuck with us, and we've done like walks and runway events and sports,
Right.
and basically it's to tell people that let's stop stigmatizing them, let's stop marginalizing them, let's try and be inclusive, and really inclusion starts with us.
What kind of stigma did the public have towards disability?
Okay. Like for example, if they see someone on a wheelchair and the person actually speaks and they go like, oh, he
can
speaks.
speak.
Yeah. He speaks. And if they see someone with Down syndrome, I'm not generalizing, I'm just giving an example. And then when that person has like, makeup applied, wow, so pretty. What does that mean? It doesn't mean if that person has that extra chromosome, that person is not pretty. But like they say, beauty lies in the eye of the beholder. And so it's basically it's to tell people that we have a bigger cause here. We have a human rights issue that we are dealing with. So let's collectively be part of society. Yeah.
Maybe you can share the other pictures so that the viewers can look into the mapping through various to try to visualize the pictures.
Right. So this is Aisha, who has Down syndrome, and she'll be part of our runway event. And she is deaf, but she's also part of the event. So we would need to have like a deaf interpreter here, so that whoever's speaking anything, they can also be part of community. So this is all like extra work and things that we need to actually think about when we want to have accommodations for them. And this young man is on the autism spectrum, but he's a very fine young man, and he can speak about anything actually, international law, and he's good, but misunderstood in school. He was bullied in school. Yeah. And it's back to Aisha again. So these are some of the young people whom you would be meeting on the runway if you do come for it. And then we're also very thankful for Padini, who's actually sponsored our clothes now for the last 6 years. And they know how important that representation really matters.
Right. Talking about, just now you mentioned about the facilities for the special abled kids. Do you think we as a nation are ready and also disabled friendly country? Are we heading there now? In terms of facilities, infrastructure, and things like that.
We're talking about universal design, but we are not there just as yet. We're not there just as yet. Yeah. So I think it's got to start with us. So if we're having an event, we have to make accommodations. Like if you're going to be calling someone who's deaf, do you have people who can communicate with them? Or if you're going to have someone who is on a wheelchair, are your toilets accessible? Is your space accessible? So there's a lot of thinking that needs to be done. It's not impossible. It's possible because it is in our bylaws that, accommodations need to be made for everybody. Yeah. So we are not there 100%, but we are getting there.
Right.
In time, I'm sure we'll be there.
So what about the support from the people? I mean, common people for your programs? I mean, beside friends, your friends and your supporters, volunteers. But beside that, so I'm talking about common people who suddenly appears in your program. So what kind of feedbacks are they giving? I mean, do they benefit? Do you in terms of awareness? Are they really breaking the stigma on disabilities? What do you take? What's your take on that? I mean, what do you think about it?
I believe they are, because for my upcoming event, I'm going to have 160 volunteers, young people from the different universities. So they have come before. They've done fundraising projects for us before. So the fact that they are coming back, I think that they are game changers, and I think they are ready to actually break the stigma on disability.
So the next year event will be on the same date, is it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know what's in store, because some of the young people are saying, "Auntie, I think we should do sports."
So okay, it will be a different program.
It will be So, like I said earlier, I want to empower this young people. I think I just need to let go and let them take over, and I can just stand like an advisor or something like that, because it's time for them to come. Yeah.
Is it nationwide or only based in Klang Valley?
I think it's an international situation.
No, I mean your program.
Oh, my program.
Activities. Do you engage with others from other states, or do you go to other states to promote the activities and programs so that the public gets closer to a special child group?
We were in Penang last year for this event. Yeah, so that is because we also worked with the state government of Penang. So we would love to go places, but funding is always our challenge. Because the smallest thing, like petrol for your car, hotels, food. So that's our greatest challenge, actually.
So if any viewers would like to donate or would like to come forward to assist, you'd welcome them.
Definitely. Come and see the program, and if you believe that this program needs to be nationwide, then of course you can give. But if you think that this is not a good program, then it's your choice.
Yeah. Why not? They come on
Yeah.
Saturday, 13
Yes.
July, Cal Getaway. What time?
It starts at 2:00.
2 o'clock.
Yeah, and it should end at 4.
And this year the theme is fashion show.
Yeah, break the stigma on disability on the runway.
Okay. So that the viewers would be able to view themselves and try to assist in any ways they could. Maybe could bring this program nationwide, not necessarily in Klang Valley, and we can look forward beyond Penang, Selangor, Perak, Negeri Sembilan, Johor, Kelantan, Terengganu, even Sabah and Sarawak. If
You can
everyone
co-organize
comes
it.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, that's our goal, actually, not to just stay in Klang Valley, but to actually go out, because the needs are there, and children need to be part of community, and we need to be part of their world for it to be a better Malaysia.
By the way, and I just want to ask, what is a success story for the past 6 years? You told us that you've been doing this program, organizing program or similar programs. So any success story that you can share with our audience?
Yeah. One of the greatest success story that actually happened in Subang Jaya is that one day our city councillor, she was part of the program, very, very involved. And she came and she saw this young boy on a wheelchair. And so she, came up to me and she said, what can he do? I feel, I got to do something. So I said to her, Jen, why don't you go and speak to him? So she went and she actually asked him, so, what is it that you like to do and everything? And this is what he said: I can only watch my sisters play on the playground. Okay. And so she, came back to our young people and she said, we got to do something. What needs to be done? And so I told her, I said, Jen, many years ago I was in California and I went to this park and I saw it was an inclusive playground. And then she said, okay, so what do we need to do? I said, we got to get an inclusive playground there. And now we have an inclusive playground equipment in our park in USJ 11/5 Subang Jaya. So this is a success story, but it just doesn't stop there, Because when the university students come, those who are doing special education, we take them to the park.
Okay.
And we teach them about policy making. What is Malaysia a treaty to the Conventions of the Rights
yeah.
of Persons with Disabilities? But are we meeting their rights? So who do we talk to? Local politician, of course, member of parliament, our state assembly person, and then our local council. So
How
we teach
supportive
them.
are the local councils towards making sure they could improve the facilities?
Our local councils, Majlis Bandaraya Subang Jaya, is very supportive. Because most recently we were awarded with a community grant, and with that grant we've actually created a manual which can be taken nationwide to train families, to train young people as to how can you do inclusive playgrounds in your community. It starts there.
Because I lived in Japan. I studied in Japan so many years ago, and you could see how friendly they are towards the special groups, disabilities, and they will not neglect, or there's no stereotyping or trying to show there's a stigma compared to Malaysians.
Yeah.
So maybe it's timely to improve.
Yeah.
In fact, I do not know if community college could use this as a way to help to improve the facilities and the way they can.
I believe they have
include-
school for special training school for disabled kids.
There are special schools, but end of the day, right? A lot of families are very concerned. What's going to happen when I'm no longer here tomorrow? So if we put them all in special schools, of course, in some cases, yes, you have to be there. But how are we, common people, how are we going to be adaptive?
True.
What are we going to do? Like if someone blind comes and says, I want a job in your place, I am so sorry, but I can't because my place is not accessible. So it's like, why can't we be like countries like some of the countries I know is like Finland, where it is part and parcel of every teacher to be trained.
Yeah, the Scandinavian countries mainly focus
Yeah.
this as well.
Exactly.
So we are still, I would say, far from the actual target, you see.
We've got very good policies down, but I personally feel that experiential learning is very important. Maybe if it can be tweaked a little bit in the curriculum, where it's part and parcel of your curriculum, that you actually got to go there and be in that environment, so that when you go back into your classrooms, you can have a conversation, you can have a discussion, and then you can do brainstorming sessions, and then I believe it'll be more receptive when you actually see a child there with the family. It's just not a child coming into my classroom. It's the whole ecosystem there.
Right.
The child, the family, the grandparents who are, part of the caring process. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else, Doctor?
I'm done.
And just before we end this session, it was a very fruitful session.
you.
I basically learned a lot.
Yeah, me too.
So but what's your advice for the parents, especially young parents, who might have facing difficulties in raising their children, especially the special children? So what is your advice like?
My advice would be to, as soon as you know that your child is not meeting the milestones, go get an assessment done. And from that assessment, you can plan with the child's therapist as to how can you actually do short-term goals, long-term goals, so that you don't deprive that child, you don't deprive yourself, and collectively as partnership with whoever's going to be part of the child's life, we can come up with a good program. That is number one. Number two is that we got to know, what do you do with that program? How do we be of great support to that child? That's the best thing you can do. And then always be open to actually communicate, talk about it. Because if you talk about it, you may just look at it like, oh, this is just a small problem. There are bigger things out there. And I got a good support group, a good network where I can actually speak to people, and they can be part of my life with my child.
Is it okay if they want to consult you on how to have a tailored program to their child, any individuals that they know, is it all right to communicate with you?
Yes, you can always come to us. We are on social media, the Inclusive Outdoor Classroom, and we've got a team of therapists who also are volunteers in our program. We've got a speech therapist, a behavior therapist, a counselor. So they're all part of our program because we cannot do it alone. We need a team.
So, Prof, before we end this, I would like to share. I watched this movie Shrikant in Netflix. It's a very good movie. It's about real, true story. It's about Shrikant Bola. Have you heard about Bolaran industry? It's in India. This is the first, what do you call that? Special, what do you call that? He's visually challenged man, but he made it in the industry. He's one of the richest millionaire from this group, this category. It's a very motivating, inspiring movie we can watch. And the main reason why I mentioned about the story is the advice to the parents: don't ever give up on your child.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story, actually.
Yeah.
Because you go through mental health, emotionally affected. And some people start to compare their kids with the others. Why me? Why not the others? So that's why I thought if they can consult people like you who have vast experience in this, they may have some kind of, they can visualize how to face challenges and move forward. I think we have to move forward in this situation.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks for being with us, and
Thank you.
hope to see you again in your other programs. Please invite us.
Sure, I
So I
will.
can be a good speaker for them.
I will do that.
நன்றி. இன்னைக்கு பாட்காஸ்ட் சானா சினி பாட்காஸ்ட்டில் மறுபடியும் இன்றைக்கி சந்திக்கிறதுல ஒரு நல்ல விஷயம் என்னென்னா, நம்ம இன்றைக்கி இந்த ஸ்பெஷல் நீட்ஸ் பிள்ளைங்களுக்கு பார்த்திங்களா பேசணும். அவங்க இந்த ப்ரோக்ராமை செய்கிறாங்க 13ஆம் தேதி ஜூலை கேட்வே மாலில். டைம் வந்தால் போய் பாருங்கள். 2 மணிலேருந்து 4 மணி வரைக்கும் தான். ஒரு பெரிய விஷயமா இருக்கும். மேபி நீங்களும் கான்ட்ரிபியூட் பண்ணலாம். நாட் இன் டேர்ம்ஸ் ஆஃப் காசு பணம் இல்லாட்டியும் வேறு வகையில் நீங்கள் உதவி பண்ணலான்னு எனக்கு நம்பிக்கை இருக்குது. ஸோ தொடர்ந்து சனாசனி பாட்காஸ்ட்டை பாருங்கள், ஷேர் பண்ணுங்கள், லைக் பண்ணுங்கள். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.